Hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's been not too long in the grand scheme of us taking random months off sometimes because not much happens. But we did have something happen. I'm here with MTarget.
Yo.
And we're here to talk about the Kuala Lumpur Major, which is easily the most fun major we've had so far to say. Wrapped up earlier this morning / late last night, depending on how you look at it. The first,
Or where you are.
First major of the Dota.pro circuit season. Pretty damn good tournament from a viewer perspective. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I had a lot of late nights this last week, so I did get to catch quite a bit of it, which was, not the worst thing in the world, ultimately. And on top of that, in a couple days, if everything goes according to schedule, we're going to have the 7.20 Dota 2 patch drop. We're going to be making some speculation about what we might see, what we want to see, what we don't want to see, and other stuff that we'll talk about. And then we're also going to
insert me singing the "I'm So Excited" song. By the way,
really?
I am so excited for 7.20. Meta is still not awful. Don't get me wrong. 7.19 is not the worst place ever to be in, but we've been in here for a while. And
we have been.
I'm looking for just some big ass, juicy update that I can just look at like a big ass burger and be like, just give it to me.
Just numb that.
Also, I haven't really been eating well lately, so I really want a burger.
I have been, as you may or may notice, because I got this guy back. If you're listening, got my second chin came back in force.
Although all that you can see is his beard, so
yeah, right now it's just beard, but it's there. I know it's there, and now you know it's there because I just pointed it out. And on top of that, we're going to be doing some rapid fire, talk about some of the smaller things that we can't really stretch into 20 minutes of discussion.
And for most of those, because I've been busy working and everything else, I don't really know a whole lot about. So you guys are going to be getting
yeah, I was about to say I'm going to keep
unfiltered responses,
keeping him in the dark to keep it interesting for you guys, because it wouldn't be that interesting if we had fully formed thoughts on it. And also, again, rapid fire. So. But anyway, Kuala Lumpur Major. So if you didn't see any of it, again, very fun tournament to watch. Ultimately, won by Virtus.pro. Came in first place, got the $350,000 top prize, as well as 4,950 Dota Pro Circuit qualifying points. Huge number. Easily puts them in first place. I mean, it's the first major of the season. The minors don't count for that much. But they pretty much seal up a spot in the International 2019 just by winning that tournament.
Yep, with only 5 tournaments.
Yeah, only four majors left. 4 majors left.
Pretty sure it's impossible for them to get knocked out actually at this point.
They could if they just go away completely and other teams stay near the top.
Not really, because there's 4 more majors and 4 more minors.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually possible for 16 teams to get more than 4,950 points at this point.
It mathematically is, but it would take a lot of it.
Okay.
Yep. But it would take a lot of other things in terms of teams really surging and Virtus.pro just kind of disappearing for the next 8 months.
Okay.
So they almost certainly knot up a spot in the International 2019, which will take place in Shanghai, probably in August. Second place was Team Secret. They ended up taking home 3,000 Dota Pro Circuit points and $170,000. Looked pretty damn good. They actually won their way through the upper bracket, beat Virtus.pro in the upper bracket finals, and fell to them 3-2 in the grand finals. Really strong performance by them, and you can never really tell what you're going to get with Team Secret at this point in the season. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to watch that series, but I was I was disappointed. I was disappointed by the fact that Virtus.pro came through and just, to use Steven's favorite term, just shit kicked evil geniuses into nothingness. But I would also, it was midnight and I was exhausted. So
As you mentioned,
I had to be an old man.
third place went to Evil Geniuses, 2,100 Dota Pro Circuit points. Fourth place, Ninjas in Pyjamas, 1,350. Fifth, sixth, TNC Predator and PSG.LGD. Seventh, eighth, VG Gaming, Fnatic, and then everybody else, pretty much. So, really big, important tallies of Dota Pro Circuit points for those top 6, I would say. It fell off pretty hard, but the Forward Gamings, the Tigers, etc., they'll have 4 more tournaments in order to try and lock up a spot in the International 2019. And so thoughts on the tournament? Who surprised you? Who didn't?
So thoughts on the tournament overall. I hate time zones, basically, and I hate having to be an adult and have a job because I wish that I could have watched more of what I was able to watch.
You got to get a job like me where you just, are always working.
Hey, I used to do that.
Always working often at night.
In the wrong game. So, anyways,
you're in the dick pill game. Yeah.
Anyways, who disappointed me? We'll start there. I was most disappointed by North America as a whole, but primarily Forward Gaming. Obviously, they tied with J.Storm for 9 through 12. So, ta-da! There's North America. I expected both of these teams to finish, if not closer to top 8. Yes, okay, 9, 12, whatever. But they didn't look like they were at. Oh yeah, they were like the 9th best team. No, they really did look weak. Particularly Forward Gaming. I did expect to see them in the top 8, and we just didn't get that out of either of these two teams.
Yeah, should note with Forward Gaming, that is the former VGJ.Storm team from the International 2018. They pretty much stayed together. They actually got 5th, 6th at TI, which is really good in the grand scheme of things. They only made one change to their roster, which was bumping Snake King and bringing in Universe at the offlane position.
There are very few people that I can think of where Universe is not a direct upgrade, as we talked about in the roster shakeup video.
Yeah, so this is a team that, again, you should kind of expect to be upper half of the tournament, but instead they ended up going 1-2 in their group stages, losing to Pain X and then to Alliance, which started them off in the lower bracket. They ended up beating beating Gambit Esports, and then losing to Evil Geniuses in the lower bracket, which got them just above last place. And as you mentioned, J.Storm was in that same group. They ended up going 0-2 in the group stages, losing to Secret and then losing to Pain. And that started them off in the lower bracket where they beat Team Aster in a best of 1, but then went 2-1, losing to Fnatic.
Yeah.
So, and not a great performance by them.
And again, so J.Storm lost to, Nip and Secret. Not the awful worst, but at the same time, come on, guys. Especially,
with Forward Gaming in particular,
especially Forward Gaming 100%.
I would say that they were a legitimate dark horse to win, maybe. Would you, if I said that beforehand, would you have taken issue with it?
Nope, I would have agreed. Like I said, I was disappointed with North America because both Forward and J.Storm, in my eyes, were legitimate contenders for top 8, or at least having reasonably strong, runs, looking good, whatever. What I saw, J.Storm looked really weak. What I saw, Forward Gaming just kind of looked unfortunate, and I don't. Short of being able to sit down for several hours and pore over their footage, I don't know where to start.
So I'm going to say I was disappointed in myself when it came to this tournament. Because if you remember, do you remember who I said was kind of my pick to have a surprisingly good run at this tournament?
If I remember correctly, it was Aster.
No, that was, I think, you. No, my pick was Pain Gaming, if you will remember.
Oh, that's right, because I was super excited about that, and I was I said that it was one of the two Pains of South America, yay. But I could have sworn that. No, you're right. I did say that Aster had a chance because they were a Chinese dark horse team.
Yeah. No, I said Pain Gaming, and my God, how stupid of me! What a dumb, stupid person I was to actually buy into the idea that Pain Gaming could make a strong run at a Dota Pro circuit tournament. What a dumb, stupid idiot I was to actually buy into the idea of a South American team making a strong run at a real tournament. What a stupid, dumb person I was.
I feel like you're just trying to drive the knife in for me too. But,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate, Pain got a difficult group, arguably, but that doesn't excuse them for then, getting shit kicked in 23 minutes by TNC Predator, who did not.
Yeah, their group.
I mean, TNC had a decent run. I'm not going to knock them too hard, but like,
yeah, Pain. For those who didn't see it, went 0-2 in the groups. There was actually some controversy from PPD.
They went 1-2.
Yeah, excuse me, 1-2. They lost to Nip twice. Their win in the middle of that group was against J.Storm, as previously mentioned. They ended up then losing to TNC in the lower bracket in a best of one. That got them into last place. And yeah, just not. That's not what I was expecting, but I probably should have.
I mean, like, I hear where you're coming from, and like, especially in that group, yeah. But at the same time, God, like, I just want this roster to do better. I want both of these Pain rosters to do better because, oh my God,
I mean, ultimately, this doesn't really change where they were. Again, PPD took to Twitter to kind of complain about this particular group format. Basically said, hey, we made it to the upper bracket because we were able to beat Pain twice. That's kind of silly. And
on top of that, he was also complaining before the event about the fact that they were required to play seeding matches a couple months ago now, it feels like, and then the seeding wasn't used at all. So
that was also kind of silly.
Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, we're not going to complain about seeding too much tonight, but it's he has a very valid point about the fact that they were able to beat Pain twice, which Pain does very poorly against their style. Yes. At the same time, PPD has a very specific method, and we and Misery both are smart enough players to know how to work around it.
Yeah. I mean,
before I even get into how good the Brazilian players are or aren't.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done better, but
this is where you do insert a "You Were the Chosen One" meme or something.
Nah, they weren't the chosen ones. I wasn't even predicting. I wasn't even,
to represent South America, like they prove that South America has a chance.
No,
not that they should have won.
I wasn't expecting them to win. I was expecting them to potentially do well, and they did not, given their last place finish.
Like, I think we both said, I mean, particularly me, I was hoping and kind of expecting to see maybe a top 8, but more realistically, I was expecting top 12, and that obviously didn't happen.
Nope. So flip side, positivity, etc. Who were you surprised by? Who do you want to compliment? Who are you going to buy into at this point?
Most surprised by two teams. I was surprised most by Ninjas and Pyjamas. Wasn't expecting to see them top 4.
Yeah.
Top 8, yeah, sure. 5th, 6th, yeah, probably, but top 4, not really. And then I was also most surprised by Virtus.pro. If you had told me Virtus.pro was top 3, yeah, definitely. Virtus.pro 2nd, all right. Virtus.pro winning, though, and in as dominant of a fashion they did, not the final series, but everything else looked very clean, very good, very strong.
Yep.
I would not have, I could have seen it, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, this was a summer 2018 kind of Virtus.pro performance. They went 2-0 in the groups, ended up taking the top spot in their group. Then they 2-0'd Fnatic, 2-0'd Ninjas and Pyjamas, lost to Team Secret in the upper bracket finals, but then 2-0'd EG, and then beat Team Secret 3-2 in the grand finals. So pretty darn dominant in the grand scheme of things. Like, they won way more games than they lost. And usually they looked pretty damn good when they won. All their wins in the grand finals were pretty cut and dry. There weren't any wild comebacks or crazy momentum swings. They just kind of kicked Secret's teeth in when they won. Again,
that's basically how they play.
Secret did get 2 wins, but yeah, a vintage earlier 2018 peak Virtus.pro game, and that they kind of needed that after a quote unquote disappointing TI8. And yeah, I'll go with the other half of the grand finals and say that I was really, really surprised by Team Secret. Just in general, you can always kind of be a little bit surprised when it comes to Team Secret. They're not known for their consistency, even when they're winning.
Honestly, Team Secret showing up to the tournament is a surprise to some people. Not like showing up to play like actually just showing up. Like, I will not be surprised if one day Secret just doesn't show up in an event.
Yeah. But they did come in with a relatively new roster. They came in with Nisha as their new carry, and they have Zai at offlane, which is...
Oh my god, Nisha.
Yes.
I'm sorry. One of the few series that I was able to catch was a Team Secret series. Don't even remember who it was against, but all that I remember was Nisha just like putting his boot through the entirety of the other team's ass at the same time.
Yeah.
It was, oh my god.
Yeah, he, for those who don't remember, he was on the Team Penguin / Let's Do It team last year.
/ the Polish Wrecking Ball. Yeah,
the Polish Wrecking Ball, who for a hot minute looked like they might be able to make a run in the Dota Pro.
Another one of those you were the chosen ones up there with Adfinem. And I'm gonna have to make a list of all of those teams where they looked amazing for a moment and then just crumbled.
Yeah, geez, that would be a great list.
It would also be a massive list.
Yeah, I mean, Team Freedom. That was a good one.
Yep. Oh, also, by the way,
not to get too tangential.
Sorry, no, I was about to get really tangential. I was about to talk about 7.20. Too early.
Yeah. So, Secret, second place. You can't complain about that. Again, 3-2. There's an alternate reality where they beat Virtus.pro and looked good in the process. But yeah, I mean, just in general, this has been a really, really strong start to the 2018-2019 season for them. And they came in first place at ESL 1 Hamburg. That was a very solid tournament. Like, they came out on top of, I think, World Showdown, was that it? Or was it the PvP Esports Championship?
I think it was the second one, but I don't remember.
Esports Championship. And I mean, that wasn't as stacked as ESL 1, but they did come out on top of Fnatic and PSG.LGD. So they've already made 2 first place finishes in 2018-2019. They got a second place in the first major of the season. I'm not saying that they're going to win TI, but this is pretty reminiscent of last year where they got off to a white hot start alongside Team Liquid. And we'll see how they hold up long term, but it's not the worst thing in the world if they peak super hard right now.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, if you peak super hard right now and then take 6 months off, then you come back in time for TI9 and you're good to go.
Yeah, and again, they got 3,000 Dota Pro Circuit qualifying points.
So as long as they show up to majors, they should be okay.
As long as they can keep showing up to majors, they pretty much have their foot in the door for a direct invite to TI9. And not the worst thing in the world. That's ultimately what they're playing for, especially in this new Dota Pro Circuit system, where pretty much all the money is made at TI. So
yep.
We'll see how they hold up long term. Anybody else? Oh, here, speaking of, you were the chosen one, Alliance. We didn't really touch on them, but they ended up coming 9th, 12th alongside PainX, J.Storm, Board Gaming. A little bit sad about them. I mean, that's such a signature Dota 2 brand from TI3.
Man, I don't even know what to say about Alliance.
Yeah, they looked really good for a little bit there, and they did not show up at this tournament.
But that's the thing is, it's like I wasn't expecting them to do well either. Like I saw it, I was like, yeah, that seems right, and just like moved on. And I'm like, wait, this is Alliance that I just
yeah, it feels bad, man.
I just, I mean, the fact that Alliance is scattered to the wind, retired, or meme master Bulldog,
or in Final Tribe.
Or Final Tribe. That's true. There is some love there. Scattered to the wind is that category. Like an Alliance is now just this remnant, and I mean, when Bulldog like does analysis, and he's not just memeing, I'm impressed. Still think that he has some presentation issues to work on, but you know, the man's not trained on public speaking, so I'll give him a pass there. But like, Bulldog is literally a meme.
Yes. Is.
So disappointed.
Well, he didn't actually play. But Koikva, like I'm kind of finding myself to be a like quiet fan of Koikva.
I mean, I've loved him for a long time. So
he's still got a special place in my heart from that like early like was he on Team Liquid back in the day?
Let me check.
He was definitely on Mousesports, but
I remember him on Mouse, and he was
back. He still holds a special place in my heart from that era, and
he was on. That's right. He was on MYM back in 2012.
Yeah, he's an OG.
And then Mousesports. You're right. He was on Liquid in 2013 to 2014. Then he was on Tinker, Mousesports again. No Diggity in 2016. Escape in 2016. He was on NIP in 2017. That brief stint.
Great version of it.
Tuho. That's the other one. That's what I remember him from too.
Okay.
Then Tuho DC Mad Lads Alliance.
Okay, so yeah, he's been around the block. I'm a Dark Horse fan of him, and you know, he Alliance from back in the day was an all Swedish team, but Koikva still, you know, has that old EU rep for me. So seeing him with Alliance makes me kind of a fan of them still. But yeah, not a great performance by them. But I think that's a good place to wrap up on the Lumpur Major discussion.
I agree.
We're going to go into rapid fire right now. So we actually have some people hopping in and out of the chat. If you want to have us discuss any particular topics, feel free to drop your requests in there. If not, I'm going to get started. And something we discussed briefly at the start of the show, Complexity Gaming, shaking up their roster.
Yep.
They actually only have 2 players at the moment because they released, per the team, they were requested to release Eternal Envy and Snaking. On top of that, Skimberloo has been moved to the bench, and they said, basically, long story short, they're looking to trade him. And he's been having visa issues, so he's just not a great for the team right now. Your thoughts? Is this at all surprising? Do you think this is good?
I mean, Eternal Envy, not at all surprising. It is what it is, really. Like, and I know that sounds like such a cop-out answer, but with Complexity these days, like, they are still a tier 1-ish. Like, no, they are still a tier 1 organization. I respect the organization. I respect all the guys behind the scenes to hell and back. But as far as being able to pick up and hold talent, they feel almost more like a farm team than anything else. It feels like they're that stepping stone before players get to where they need to go. Whether that be, you know, Kyle finding his place on stage, which, by the way, if you're or somebody wants to send this to Kyle, I am actually a little bit mad at how good of a caster you've become in such a short period of time. Really about it, but like, damn, son. Come on.
He's actually he's been very I share your being impressed with him.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed, and like I said, I'm just a little bit mad because as somebody who has worked on casting, I know how hard work that is to go from where he was to where he is now.
Yeah.
So I respect that, and damn son. But I mean, really, like it feels like particularly recently that's what complexity is like. Of course, EE is just destined to do whatever he damn well pleases.
The greatest example of them kind of like being a feeder team would be the TI5 squad, which ended up providing like the first half of OG, basically. They had Moon, Meander, and Fly for a hot minute there. And yeah, right now they only have Limp and Z-Freak. According to the video that they released for it, they're already in like deep talks with new teams. That said, if you look at the teams that have been making it to the open qualifiers for North America, a lot of the free agent North American players are kind of actually already spoken for. So we'll ultimately see how they do. They are scheduled to compete in the North American qualifiers for the Chongqing Major, which kick off on September 28th. So in 10 days. That's it. And on that note, the next rapid fire question. Have you actually taken a look at the North American Open qualifiers? Because the team that won the second one for the Chongqing Major is one Team Doggies. And Team Doggies has Eternal Envy, playing carry once again, Jo, Monkeys Forever, Snaking, and one player named Fear. Your thoughts on that team? And do you have any hopes for them or any expectations heading into the Chongqing qualifiers?
Up until Fear, I was thinking, okay, this team is going to get its teeth kicked in at the NA closed qualifier. Now I just see them getting kicked in the ribs a couple times and going down. But I mean, like, I just that team is full of so many people who almost have it together. But the problem is almost have it together only gets you through opens.
True.
So, I mean, like the first four players on that list, Fear, he can do whatever he damn well pleases. The man's
he's got enough.
He's literally number one on my list for Dota Hall of Fame. He is ahead of Dendy for Dota Hall of Fame for me.
Yeah,
Dendy's number two, but he's number one for me.
Honestly, I mean, depends on how you actually like.
But anyways, that's for topic for another show. But I mean, Eternal Envy, I don't know what that man needs other than a good coach and a swift kick in the ass saying, no, you don't get to leave your contract just because you played in one tournament and you didn't think you did well.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think that he needs a contract with the buyout clause where either A, he has to spend an exorbitant amount of money himself to leave, or B, the team says, no, you've got to figure this out and stick it out.
Which kind of you can't do in Dota 2 because ultimately he can form Team Doggies and do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I know, but like that's what I think he needs as a player, because he keeps bouncing and he short of his stint at Team Secret, which is really the closest to it we've seen. Also, when I feel like we saw him at his best, he as soon as he hits something difficult, he says, "Okay, time to try something new," and scraps it. And it kills me because he's a good Dota player and he's smart. So what's he doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to pin down what's going on there because he does have a tendency to explode teams. And to see, I mean, I didn't expect this Complexity Gaming team to go especially far necessarily, but I
agree. I just think that they exploded faster than anticipated.
I'm definitely surprised at how quickly they imploded and then exploded and then turned into two different teams. Like, that's not good. And I mean, we'll see how they do at this qualifier. Again, starts in 10 days on November 28th. It's going to involve 8 different teams. Complexity Gaming, Evil Geniuses for Gaming, J.Storm. No surprises there. Team Borster, Pubstack, Team, that's the IX Mike stack, which also includes Ryoya and Brax, and Zug Zwang, which is built around I Annihilate. So we will see how they end up doing. But not necessarily super high expectations. We don't actually know how many North American qualifier spots are going to be made available at this time. They're going to have a minimum of 2, but they actually haven't actually revealed yet the number of spots available for each region at the Chongqing Major. Have to imagine they're going to give an extra spot to China, maybe even 2.
Yeah.
One might go to North America. I could definitely see them going 3 Southeast Asia, 3 China, 3 Europe. But
yeah. Anyways, we'll see. We'll probably do another episode on that.
Yeah, best case scenario is that they might have a fighting chance to get into the Bucharest minor if they can climb over J.Storm.
Yeah, but good luck at that, quite frankly. And again, like that's how I feel about this team. Like, short of Fear being able to provide some sort of cohesion, I don't see it.
It might be interesting if because Fear is playing number 5. Fear is the captain in Eternal Envy. It goes back to being full-time carry. That might do well because he is a technically good carry. Like, he's mechanically skilled. And Fear, he's probably at his best when he's playing carry too, but he's a good captain. We know that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And Fear has proven that he can play damn near any lane. See the the hypest game of TI in all time, not really, but Mega Creeps, where he literally played
against the eHome at
TI Axe, and they won the game. So, anyways, moving forward.
Yeah. So, moving on, we have another interesting transfer in the form of a new SG Esports team, completely made up of Liquipedia, or players with no Liquipedia page. What's up with that, yo? What's up with that?
It's SG Esports.
Yeah, so do you think that like Pain Gaming has just kind of forced SG Esports into not really being able to exist? Or what?
I think that SG Esports is taking a gamble more than anything else. I mean, the fact that Pain owns 2 game teams is kind of a big deal, but at the same time, the 2 teams are literally the original Pain split into 2. Because if you go far enough back, yeah. Anyways, so I don't know. I don't see this as necessarily a bad thing. I certainly do see this as a gamble, though. And if you could just go ahead and talk for a moment, I need to step away from the computer for 60 seconds.
All right, no problem.
So, give your thoughts, Ramble.
So, random note: we had Team Liquid pull out of the Dream League minor earlier this month, and we also had them kind of just really be eerily quiet in a kind of semi-worrisome way. We actually did find out something that is probably part of the reason for it. Their longtime coach, Heen, a former player from Korea, played for the old OG MVP Phoenix teams, as well as the original, I believe, MVP Hot 6. And yeah, he has departed Team Liquid. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm kind of, again, a little bit concerned about the fact that Team Liquid has fallen off the map. They were supposed to compete at the Dream League minor. They haven't actually played anything since. We're going to see if they play in the qualifiers for the Bucharest, or excuse me, for the Chongqing Major. And yeah, I mean, I'm really curious about what's going on there. Going to see if they can maybe pull it together. And I'm also curious as to whether or not that was the actual explanation. I mean, Team Liquid obviously such a talented team, one of the favorites to enter or to exit TI 8 as a winner, which would have made them the first ever 2-time TI champion. And the team actually stayed completely intact since then, and they did have a good performance at TI 8. Ultimately came in 4th place, excuse me. So, yeah, really wondering if their recent issues in terms of them just not playing have been directly because they don't have a coach, or what's going on there. And MTarget's back now.
Thank you.
I was discussing Heen leaving Liquid. Yeah, because he left, and
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's weird because Liquid basically hasn't played, which is kind of weird because they did pull out of the Dream League minor, which they were pretty easily going to be favored to win. So the fact that they left, or the fact that they willingly left it, was just kind of strange. And I'm wondering if that recent inactivity can be directly attributed to this departure.
That definitely would not surprise me, and I think that we're due for a change.
Really,
and I have this gut feeling that unless they can find a damn good coach to pull them back together again, that they're going to lose somebody. Whether that be one person, two people, I've been nervous about it for a while, but I'm also starting to come to grips with the fact that it's okay if Liquid changes. This is like me with Evil Geniuses back when it was Universe Sumail, PPD, and Fear. I'm like, please no.
It would have to be a surprise.
Oh well, yeah, but
I mean, it's not like we discussed Eternal Envy just now. At least when Eternal Envy blows up a team, it's because they're losing. The last actual tournament that Team Liquid played in was 4th place at TI8, where they all got to share $1.787 million. So can't really complain about that kind of outcome. And I mean, they ended up not making the cut for the qualifier. They ended up not making the cut in the qualifiers of the Kuala Lumpur Major, but again, they made it to the actual tournament. So
yeah, I don't know. And like I said, if they can get a coach and tie things back up, great. But
yeah, it's something to watch. Long story short, definitely something to watch. And going to be interesting to see if see what happens there. So I think it's going to wrap up our rapid fire. We're going to talk now about our just wild speculation for what we will see and what we won't see in 7.2. So you got thoughts? Give them.
I got thoughts. I think that to continue the memes, Darkseer is going to get nerfed again. Even though he really is probably due for a buff at this point. Realistically,
Batrider 2.
Yep. Realistically, I'm expecting to see Spectre nerfs. Terrorblade nerfs might be coming. Sure, he was this big scary thing, but at the end of the day, the two most dominant heroes were Arc Warden and Spectre, I think. Let me pull up that Nahaz tweet really quickly. Of course, that's only about the most recent tournament, but it's still, I mean...
Yeah, the hero that I'm really expecting to see... there are two heroes I'm really 100% expecting to see get at least...
Centaur, that's the one. Centaur and Arc Warden are the two that are... Sorry,
yeah, the ones I'm really expecting to see get at least some kind of nerf, Arc Warden and Bane.
Yeah.
Those two. Definitely going to get nerfed, at least to some degree. Arc Warden, because it is a character that requires intense micro, I don't think that they're going to completely nuke him. Even with...
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah, they don't make the characters that are difficult to play. They don't ever make them full-on bad. Even Visage now is a hero that can work. We did see some at the Kuala Lumpur Major. We didn't see as much of it as we have, I think, at TI 6 or 7. But we saw it at the Kuala Lumpur Major, and it's a hero that can work.
Yeah, and
hero I'm expecting to get full on just destroyed this patch is Axe. I'm thinking that's the kind of hero that it's got that of being strong and being a source of frustration for just crappy pub players. That it's just going to get that they're just going to just either heavily overhaul or just make Axe weak as hell.
I think that Axe will definitely get hit a bit, but directly. But we're going to see something change in how the game is played that's really going to hurt him more. And I'm not quite sure what that's necessarily going to entail, but I feel like he's not going to be hit directly with the nerf bat. He's going to get hit, but there's going to be something else that like really makes him feel bad to play for at least a little while because of something else they changed, whether that be tweaking how that status resist with strength works, that whole formula with status resist versus armor versus magic resist, etc., or what. But I definitely could see that happening.
They could also just nerf his health regen. I mean, that's a killer.
That's probably, I definitely could see some of his talents getting tweaked.
I believe he still has a base 4.0 health regen, which you kind of need for a character that is basically built around taking damage. So if they get rid of that, that's a pretty massive hit. There's so many different ways that they could, just shave a little bit away from something and then everything falls apart. Like it's a house of cards right now.
So I didn't realize that 7.19 was only released in July.
Been a while. It feels like it's been a while.
It feels like it's, I mean, and I get that part of that's because there's been a TI in between and everything else, but like, damn, I'm ready for, I mean, and the other thing is that this is the first patch in a while where we saw 0.19, B, C, and D. The last time that we saw that many, I want to say was like 6.84E or something. I could be wrong, but I really do feel like it's been a while. I'm going to start digging through that. And so keep going and I'll listen. And obviously, because we had 7.13 A and B, or regular and B, although B was literally like this long, talking about some strength tweaks, so that doesn't really count, in my opinion. And again, that's still only like 2. 7.07, we did go to D. That's right, there was that.
Okay. But yeah, so what other heroes are you expecting to take hits? Like, give me like 5 heroes other than the ones we've discussed that you think are going to get some smacks.
Pango. Pango's going to get hit.
Pango, that's a good one.
So yeah, Arc, Pango, Bane, Centaur. I think Centaur is going to get hit because of how good he is at the pro level and because he can still pub stomp pretty easily.
Yep.
I don't think he might get hit as hard, but I think those 4.
Yeah, Terrorblade, we discussed him.
May or may not. I mean, he'll see something, but I don't know how hard he's going to get hit.
I could see him getting hit fairly hard. I mean, he's not like a full-on pub stomp character, and again, those are the ones that I feel like get hit the hardest in most cases.
Yeah.
But I could see him getting a hard hit. Tiny's
definitely going to get hit again. And I'm a little bit worried because this is the first time in a while where Tiny actually felt good to play again.
Yeah, it was.
He's a very fine line. So
it was weird because right before TI, he just felt like he was dumpster tier. Then he ended up being one of the most picked heroes, and now he's gonna have to hold on to that memory because he's probably gonna get bumped down pretty hard. I could also see Silencer getting a pretty good hit.
Silencer, I see him getting a little nerf, not a huge one, but getting nerfed. I
mean, he's always going to have a place of being useful just based on his ultimate, unless they get rid of it for some reason. I think they're going to make him a weaker laner is the big thing, because he is a very strong laner. He's got the ability to harass with glaives. He's got 2 strong options in terms of doing damage, either if you're against a solo laner or if you're against a pair, you can pretty easily hit both of them with Curse of the Silent, I think is what it's called, his Q.
Yeah.
Those, I could see him taking a pretty hard hit. And again, he's always going to have a place because of his ultimate. Like, he's always going to be great against heroes like Storm or heroes that have big channeled ultis like Bane, Enigma. Like, he's always going to have a place, but I think that they are going to make the move to have him be like a super situational pick rather than a viable in any situation kind of hero.
So I just went to Dota Buff, went to Heroes, went to Meta. This is great resource, by the way. No, I'm not sponsored by them. Yes, I know the devs and the owners; they're good people.
Yeah, they should
But
sponsor us though.
I will talk to them. I went there and I went on pick percentage in 5K plus, so Divine and Immortal. Pick number 1 is Grimstroke. Okay, he's got a 49% win rate. Throw that out the door. He might get nerfed a little bit, but whatever. Ogre, Phoenix, and then that reminded me. Look at how Phoenix played. I can see him getting nerfed, or it or her. I don't know what Phoenix is.
I don't know if Phoenix hasn't been that popular. I feel like, but was a regular site in the Kuala Lumpur Major.
Phoenix across the board has it. In the bottom 3, so everything below 2K and below MMR, Phoenix has a 55% win rate. In 2 to 3K in that Archon range, Phoenix has a 54.52, so it's slightly lower. In Legend, Phoenix is 53%, which is 3 to 4K. In Ancient, 4 to 5K, Phoenix is 52%. And then in over 5K, Phoenix is 51%. And Phoenix has a fairly high pick ban rate in Pro as well. So that's a hero that I could see getting nerfed either a little bit or a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a few months in 2017 where Phoenix was like super duper popular. And it was just kind of one of those heroes that caught everybody up by surprise, like Pugna.
My little alien man.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this can work in a lot of different situations, but then you learn the tricks, and then you learn the counter picks and that kind of stuff, and then it just kind of, it doesn't get nerfed or anything. It just fades away because now people know how to deal with it. So
yeah,
he went away for a while, and again, he wasn't that popular at TI8 if I recall correctly, but for whatever reason, he's really, really popular right now because he was all over the place at the Kuala Lumpur Major.
Monkey King.
Monkey King is another one, but TNC Predator in particular.
Yeah.
Picked him. They actually, in all 3 games of their series against VG Gaming, picked him. Against Alliance, he just picked both games. And in their series against NIP, he popped up again. So TNC Predator in particular had a tendency to bring out the Phoenix. And we'll see if they might have called some extra attention to that hero in this time of being potentially nerfed. In this time of nails sticking out and being hammered down. And Rubik is another one that I could see getting nerfed. Like, the ability to steal spells is always going to be useful, but you can't not have Rubik. Like, that's his gimmick. That's why he exists.
Yep. And
they can still hit all of his other shit.
Yep. So still on Dota Buff. I've been poking around while you've been talking about different heroes. Under their esports tab, which is I criminally underuse, my bad. Went to the Kuala Lumpur Major, then went to Heroes, and it literally just right off the top, hero, number of matches, win percentage. Earthshaker, number 1 with 155 matches with a 51.61% win rate. Earthshaker, do you see him getting nerfed? And if so, a little bit or a lot?
I could see him getting nerfed a lot, a bit. I mean, the thing is, he's so good in every stage of the game. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and not only that, but he's usable in pretty much every conceivable way. He's such a versatile hero. I could see them whittling away at that.
Yeah, I could see something there.
Yeah, and like I said, he's not quite the same as Axe in terms of you can find so many different ways to just knock him down completely. Yep. But yeah, I think 1 or 2 nerfs, even if it's something small, could end up making him just dumpster tier.
Yep. So fun fact, Tiny actually only had a 40% win rate at Kuala Lumpur Major. Picked 151 times. Next on this list are we already talked about Silencer. He's picked in 114 games, 57% win rate. Okay.
57?
57% win rate.
Ooh.
But here's the big one that I had totally forgotten about. Weaver, 122 games, 57.38% with a 4.61 KDA.
Wow. I mean,
So
that
I expect to see that bug get hit with a fly swatter.
yeah, that's not too surprising just because so much of his usefulness is elusiveness.
And also being used as either a core or a support with
Yeah,
that Ags build.
that was the big thing is this version of Weaver. Like we saw some really excellent support weavering. So support weaving, I guess, at the Kuala Lumpur Major. In particular, who was it? I think it was NIP. Was it them? There was one series that had some really just spectacular support weaving, and yeah, that raised my eyebrows. That's probably really strong.
I expect to see. My prediction here is that they take the Ags because the Ags cooldown is like 12 seconds, which is disgusting. So I expect to see an Ags nerf as well as maybe some other stat stuff, but Ags nerf reducing the range of the Aghanim Scepter cast ability, and also increasing the cooldown timer.
Yeah. So we talked about heroes. Any items you expect to get hit with nerfs? Only gotta pick like one, maybe two if you're feeling frisky. I've got one.
I had not given that any thought until now.
I'll start you off. I'm expecting Dragonlance to take some kind of hit, probably in
Again?
Yep, it's still really good. It's still really good. They could make it more expensive. They could reduce its viability. They could,
That's true.
There are lots of different ways they could tackle it. It's still really strong.
I think the other thing is even not necessarily just nerfing it, but nerfing Hurricane Pike as well, because it still builds so neatly into that. Maybe too neatly. That's another way that they could hit it. I mean, I'm thinking Lincoln's, BKB. No, those are both actually relatively okay. Crimson Guard, I could see getting hit though, actually, because that thing's getting built on everybody right now.
Yeah, that's super popular right now. That went from like 0 to 60 in my mind, at least from what I've seen. It, like you said, it went from being fairly sparse to all over the place.
Yeah, basically, if you've got a strength hero, it's probably getting built.
Yep. Nullifier maybe. Aeon Disc I could see getting nerfed.
Aeon Disc is definitely going to get nerfed because that shit is.
Yeah, that with any carry that has strong escape mechanisms is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that does so much on like an Ember Spirit Morphling, anything like that. It's really strong, and those kinds of heroes are already strong enough.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really. I mean, I'm nervous, man. Oh, buffs. Who do you want? Who do you expect to see buffed? Who do you want to see buffed? Give me your one hero that you want to see get buffed.
Bounty Hunter. I want to see make Bounty Hunter great again.
Fair.
Like he that 2016-2017 stretch for Bounty Hunter where he was super fun to play, super effective. Doesn't need to be that strong again, but I also wouldn't, and this is me being, possibly unrealistic because I'm not a game designer, but I want to see Bounty Hunter be a carry again to some degree.
No.
I want
as somebody who is bad at Dota, I will admit it. I tunnel vision way too hard, and I am down in the trenches where carry Bounty Hunter shows up from time to time. That shit's annoying.
Yeah, I want it to be 2012 again. Back when Bounty Hunter was this crafty, annoying as hell carry. You get Battle Fury on him, so you can push waves.
Man, right now the build is Battle Fury, Daedalus, Bloodthorn, Nullifier.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that sounds terrible.
It's awful. What's even worse is when you've got that idiot bounty hunter who gets picked last, and you're like, okay, fine, like he'll play position 5, we'll be okay. And then this asshole goes Battle Fury, and it's like you're minute like 40, you're pushing their base, and he just got a Battle Fury and he's farming. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
I totally get where you're coming from, but at the same time, as somebody who deals with this shit, come on.
I mean, I'm low MMR too, like
Most slightly higher than I am.
I also don't play ranked ever.
Also, same here.
Like I said, my story again is that I got ranked at like 2,500 MMR back when that was good. Back when like the pros were 5,000 or so, and then I just never played ranked again, and then everything floated up, and now that's kind of garbage. And I could try and dig myself out of that hole, but I could also not.
Yeah, let's just not and
just enjoy life.
Yeah,
I could also just like have fun playing Dota 2.
Yep.
But yeah, Bounty Hunter is the hero that I want to see buffed. There are a few different ways to do it because right now he kind of sucks.
Yeah, he does. He could use a buff.
Doesn't have to be super strong, Ice Frog. Just give me a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of something. What about you? What hero do you want to see great again?
So the hero that I want to see get buffed, but really doesn't actually need it, is Luna. I'm a Luna spammer at heart. So like, duh, I want to see my baby get buffed, but like she doesn't need it. I think that like with a little bit of massaging to the meta, she's good to go again. Yeah. But right now, she's just not at that, and that's fine. I can accept that. In reality, I would like to see Death Prophet get buffed. You know, where has she been? You know, where has
she has kind of fallen off.
Yeah, it's funny because again, went back to Dota buffs, just the whole meta, like across pubs, not across esports. For pick percentage, Beastmaster, Death Prophet, Darkseer, Night Stalker, Lone Druid, and Naga Siren have no data in pick percentage rates and at above 5k MMR.
Oof.
They were picked that little.
Man, Naga Siren, that's another one. I remember back remember back in 2012 when it was like Naga Siren, Lycanthrope, and
yep.
Who am I forgetting?
Lone Druid? No.
Maybe. But
the Lone Druid was after that because I wasn't around in 2012, but I remember when he hit in 2014, like where like it was like, what is this motherfucker doing?
Well, I mean, yeah, Lone Druid peaked like 2013, 2014, and then a little bit into 2015. But yeah, for a minute there, for a year or maybe two, Naga Siren was tip-top tier.
Yeah. But looking at pick data here, as well as then low win percentage, Viper, Warlock, Night Stalker, Disruptor, both in the high end as well as in the esports scene, I think could all use buffs. I think that Darkseer legitimately deserves a buff. He gets picked so little and has such a bad win rate. In the pro scene, I'd love to see Slark get buffs, but also like he's on a very fine line. Slardar, please, Gaben, give that man some love.
No. Fuck that.
Man, I missed being Mr. Fishy Fish.
No, fuck that.
Okay, so I found out just before he got hit with the nerf pat that he can like go Mach 2 in the river.
Yeah.
Because his sprint is buffed when he's in the river. Like that is an awesome, stupid mechanic.
Yeah, that is an interesting mechanic. Because
for Guardian Sprint.
Like in terms of like the grand scheme of Dota 2, we see very little in terms of heroes that actively use the terrain. Like there's Timbersaw, there's Monkey King.
Broodmother, Timber, Monkey King.
Broodmother, not really. I mean, I get she has webs, but she doesn't use the terrain that's already there.
Well, she's anti-terrain, so I think she kind of counts.
Okay, maybe. Either way, Timbersaw, Broodmother, Monkey King. Anybody else?
Treant.
Yeah.
He uses the trees, so I mean,
Yeah.
for including timber, Bat Rider ish, but yeah, no, I think that's really about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there are heroes that can like have an advantage in their ability to ignore their terrain, but there aren't many that like are situationally much more useful.
Yeah, the only situationally useful ones that I can think of are Slardar. Okay, sure, like path to the river to move faster, but
because his
Treant,
was kind of bullshit.
Monkey King, trees, Timbersaw, kill the trees.
Well, he also uses the trees to his advantage. So having a hero that does that, it has that like terrain usefulness, and it's not trees. That's neat, and I would like to see more of that. Or if they're like, you know, I don't know how you could necessarily do that. I guess you could do something in, built upon the creeps, which would naturally make you stronger in the actual lanes, but whatever.
Yeah,
but again, I'm not a game designer. Either way, that's a cool function in Slardar, but also fuck Slardar.
Yeah, fair enough. I get that. But yeah, so I think that those are some heroes that, statistically speaking, need some love. Medusa, no, I don't care that she's at 40% pick rate or win rate and like sub 5% pick rate at most tiers. No, she does not need any buffs right now.
She can just go away.
She's one of those heroes that, like Naga, like Lone Druid, like Luna, like Sven, we don't need, assuming that the meta can shift such that late game carries are viable again, where you're allowed to just go farm, which, I mean, Arc Warden, hello. I think that they have a chance. But items are going to have to shift, and people are going to have to figure out how to make them powerful again. Stacking is going to have to be something that's better, too. And I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon.
Okay. But anything else we want to talk about? Because we're probably running up around time.
Yeah, I think other than rambling for forever, yeah, I'm pretty set.
We could actually probably keep going about 7.20, but we also got lives to live. So we've had a lot of viewers tonight. That's always nice to see.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually have 4 right now. So everybody who's listening, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow us both on Twitter. The links are in the description. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them. If we actually get enough hashtag engagement, we'll be able to do like fan mailbag stuff and not do as frequent rapid fire type stuff. So yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Nope, it's Monday. So everybody have a great week then. And see you around.